So, Vicky, if you are there, would you mind unmuting yourself?
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
Hey, thank you for being on tonight.
I'm excited.
Awesome. Vicky, do you mind if we jump a little bit into your personal finances?
Go right ahead.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it, Vicky. Okay, so right now you're a realtor, and it looks like you're
Yes.
making around $100,000 a year. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, tell me a little bit about what you've set aside in stash cash for 401ks, IRAs, savings, or things like that.
I have several real estate homes in Georgia that are paid for, that I guess the equity in the homes would be about close to 2 million. And I have homes in Louisiana, and more than half of them are paid for as well. So I guess altogether that might be close to another 2.
So between Georgia and Louisiana, you've got about $4 million in real estate equity. Is that right?
Yes.
If you take a look at your whole portfolio and you look at the positive net cash flow every month, so after all your expenses, what's your take home that you're actually keeping every month or every year on your whole portfolio?
I would say, if everything, was rented, it'd probably be netting about 15 a month.
And is everything always rented?
No, because I have a couple of projects that I'm doing. And then there's one that the tenant has moved out, but I think I'm going to sell that property and do a 1031.
Okay. Right now, my guess is that you're probably doing about 3% cash on your paid off portfolio. And we'd have to do a little bit of the deeper analysis, but knowing what I know about real estate and some of the assumptions that I'm making, if you have about $4 million in value and it's producing about $150,000 a year net, does that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're doing about 3% on your money. And for me, my general rule of thumb is when I buy paid off real estate, I'm actually doing 5%, which means that you're making about 40% less than you could be. Now, it's not your fault. It's that you're in Georgia and Louisiana, and I'm a nationwide investor. And so I know the markets where I can 1031 my money into and actually produce a higher cash on cash return. Does that make sense?
Yes.
My guess is you should be making about $250,000 a year instead of $150,000 a year. But that's just the difference between being in maybe some of the markets you are and being in some of the markets that I'm talking about. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So first of all, I do want to acknowledge you. You've done a great job. You've built a portfolio. It is producing income for you. And everyone, can we at least start by giving Vicky a big round of applause on that? That's super awesome. Like rocking it, sis. I love it. And now what I like to do is I like to ask myself, am I getting the performance on my money? And at 3%, you're short 40% of what I think that your performance should be, which means, there's likely $10,000 a month more that you should be getting, but you're not. So in your game plan, part of what, I do is I say, okay, we're going to play a game. And guys, these are terms to write down. It's called opportunity cost. And it's a term that means, how do I move my money from low yields to high yields? Because Vicky has yield, it's just low for the game of real estate. And so one of the things that my team would do is we would be evaluating your portfolio and saying, okay, let's help Vicky gain access to markets where she can just basically make a lot more money on her real estate. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Right now, if we were to transition that over time into some other markets, my guess is you would basically net probably an extra $80,000 to $120,000 a year, which I think is meaningful. And on top of that, your house is half paid off. And so you're in a good spot. You're one of the juicier game plans, because I put you in a situation where I hand you directly off to Tyler Bennett, the gentleman I'm introducing all of us to tomorrow. And I'm going to say, okay, Tyler, dissect Vicky's portfolio. Help me find the winners. Help me find the dogs. And then let's figure out how we extract the dogs and transition them into a portfolio of only winners. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And you let me know if that's something that you're interested in pursuing, because I can have my team in touch with you this week, and we can evaluate and see what makes the most sense there.
I would appreciate that.
Awesome. I think I got Max. Max, do me a favor. Say hi if you're actually in on this thread, because I actually think you might be. And or at least you were a little earlier.
I saw him earlier, but I don't think
I
he's
think
here
he dropped out. So Gage, if you can make a note, Vicky Jones Jennings, I want to get her in touch with Max and Bennett. And I want to just analyze her portfolio. I think she's sitting around a 3% performance, and the goal is to push it up to 5 and basically help her make an extra 6 figures a year on it.
And that, my friend, is what we call a game plan. It's basically me stepping into your shoes and saying, hey, if I woke up as you and I had to make millions of dollars as quickly as possible, how would I do it? Well, that is your game plan. And if you would like your own custom game plan, click the link below and request a free game plan today. Let me and a member of my team reach out to you and give you a Kris Krohn certified game plan to find out when you can retire and how quick we can make it happen.